Okay, we're going to move on to the cymbal stands and hardware for your drum kit. So let's start at this end. We have the two tom holders, and we'll deal with these in a second, but they have a ratchet adjustment on both of them, so we'll put those in the bass drum in a second. Moving over, we have the snare stand, and again it has a ratchet adjustment, so we're just going to undo that. These, I've just literally got these out of the plastic packaging, so this is how they come in the boxes. So this is the basket or cradle, and it has an adjustment here, so this dial here, you can screw that up and that will clamp onto the snare drum, and again we'll do that, we'll deal with this in a second, but just for now let's adjust it or open up the legs so that we can get it to stand up. And this T-screw here, don't over tighten these, just firm enough that they just hold, and this one in the middle just adjusts up and down. Now one thing I should point out on all of these stands is that they have memory locks, so we're going to need a drum key, which I have here. Again, remember that drum key from earlier? You need to keep one handy, so I can undo this. This is the fitting here, and this will just slide down and it will just lock into place. At the moment I'm going to undo this because we're not quite sure how high we want this snare drum to be in a second, so I'll just leave it loose, and again we'll deal with that in a moment. Next we have a cymbal stand. Again, 3 legs, just fold them out so it's stable, tighten it up, not too much. There are 2 posts, one is slightly thicker, so we're going to again push this in and just going to do that up, and then the top one goes in like so, and these memory locks are just slotting in quite nicely. They have a little cutout in there, so you can easily find where to locate them. At the top here we have again a ratchet, which you can see on this side, and then we have, I'm going to stand up for this bit, we have a screw at the top here, which I'm just going to undo. It's got a good thread. Now we have a washer, there's a rubber insert just to protect the metal, there's a felt. Then we need to get our cymbal, it's the bigger one of the set. I'm just going to place that on. We have another felt and a washer, and the screw just goes on like that, and we're just going to tighten that up, not too tight, you want that to be able to move, so that's just about right there. So there's our cymbal stand and cymbal attached, and we'll put that to one side. Next we have the hi-hat stand. So this is a little bit more of a complicated thing. Now down here, if you squeeze these in, you can locate them into the holes at the bottom, and then we can move the feet down and secure it. Make sure the base is flat so it's on the carpet there, and then the legs are flush also, so we've got 3 legs all touching the ground. Now this bit here at the moment doesn't seem to be doing much, and that's because we've got a bit missing. So I'm going to take this top bit off, and there is a felt and a washer again here. Now there's a second bit of this, and this came in a separate package, so just try and find this bit. This is the top of the hi-hat stand. Remember the hi-hat used to be a low hat, it used to be on the floor, maybe sort of like 2 bits of wood and a bed spring, and you kind of just put your foot on it. Well, these days, these modern hi-hats, obviously, now the cymbals can be in the air, so we can hit them as well as use our foot on them. So, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention there while I was being historical, this middle bit will fold up, so if you need to transport this in the car, that's the reason why it's in 2 parts, and then this bit just goes down the middle, and there we go. Just going to tighten that up. Now we have the washer and the felt. There is an adjustment on the side of here. It's like a little screw which will just tilt the cymbals if you want to. I always just leave this flat, so you don't need to worry about that at all. So now we're going to need our hi-hat cymbals. Now looking at these, quite often in a set of hi-hat cymbals would be a top and a bottom, but really these look about the same to me. There's no difference in weight at all. Often the bottom one will be heavier, but these are exactly the same. So choose whichever one you like. I'm going to take that one. I'm going to put it upside down, right like that. So there we are. So it's just sitting there upside down on the felt. Okay, now this next bit, this is very important, and often this is the bit that is gotten wrong really. So we're going to take this off. There's a screw here, and I'm just going to put that down. There's a washer, a felt, and another felt. So what we call a clutch. So this is the thing that's going to hold the top cymbal to this metal bar. I always do it like this. Hold it in your left hand upside down. Take the washer and put it on. Take the felt, put it that way up. Now grab your cymbal with your right hand and place it upside down onto the clutch. We're going to use another felt and the other washer, and then the screw will hold this on. Now these starter clutches are not the best, and they do often come undone. So this bit will come undone and it will fall off while you're playing. That's very common. I'm going to tighten that up. Again, not too tight, but just enough that it grips it. This is something you might want to upgrade in the future. So again, a better clutch, again from a music store. They're easy to come by. So we're going to put that in on like this. So it's now just sitting. We've got two cymbals, one on the bottom, one on the top. Easy adjustment. Put your hand in, let it rest, do it up, take your hand out, and you should find you've got a finger's width. It's about ½ an inch or maybe a centimetre and a bit of width between the two cymbals. So then we can actually press down and we have a working hi-hat. Brilliant. Okay, let's put that to one side. Next up, here's an important bit of our drum kit. This is the stool. And it's great that this comes with a stool. Often you have to buy these separately. So now it comes in two pieces. This top bit, there's a depressed area here. This is where it's going to catch the screw for the seat. So make sure it's at the top. There's a bunch of holes at the bottom. So we're going to pop this in here, and the bolt goes in one of the screws here. So I'm going to take the third one down. I think that's going to suit my height approximately. And you're going to have to adjust this or play around with it just to see how high you want it. And there was a washer there, and then we're just going to put the screw on. That's going to hold it tight, like so. If you're a bit smaller, make sure you put it maybe in the next one or the very top one up. If you're a bit high, you can go a bit higher. And then the top just goes on. Pretty self-explanatory. So let's give that a go. Now that's a good height for me. My hips are a little bit higher than my knees, so when I'm operating the pedals, that's going to feel great. Okay, so that's all the hardware, apart from the legs, which will be going on the floor tom, and we'll do that next.